Welcome back to another episode of Roommates with myself, Cardale Jones, Tyvis, Powell, brought to you by Lettermen Row. Follow Lettermen Row on Twitter for all your latest and greatest updates with OSU football. Go Bucks to that. And Tyvis, what's up, man? I know it's been a crazy week for you with, getting ready for the CFL and self-home quarantine. Does it feel like coronavirus just hit all over again? You got to stay at home.
It's one of those things that it's like, you do feel like I thought we was past this point, but apparently, in Canada, it's like 10 times serious up there. But you got to do what you got to do. I mean, I don't mind the self quarantine at all. I mean, I'm spending the last few days with my daughter and my wife because I won't see them until the end of the season because Lauren works and there's no way that she's going to get 14 days off. Because when you go to Canada, you got to take 14 days. So there's no way she's going to take 14 days off work. So I just won't be able to see them. So it's been kind of cool just to hang out with them lately.
Yeah, that's good, man. Well, definitely, man, I know it's difficult, but the mindset, you got to kind of change a little bit to get ready and go up there with, different rules and 12 people on the field and things like that. But good luck and enjoy your last few days with the family, man. Wish I can come over and give you a farewell dap up, but not want to risk that. So I'm just gonna give you a virtual fist pound.
I appreciate it, man. I'm gonna make my dog proud, man. I'm going to handle these. I'm gonna handle some business over there for you. I got you.
Yeah, for sure. But other than that, man, like I said, it's been a crazy week, man, with college football, with recruiting trips wrapping up. Now they're back at that dead period, but we're gonna get into that because the buzz in Ohio for once is really not, it is still Ohio State football, but it's really not Ohio State football. But it's something that's going to affect Ohio State football and their players tremendously. And not just football, but the whole body of student athletes. And the governor came out and signed an executive order, not the actual bill, but executive order to allow these student athletes to make money on their name, image, and likeness, which is unbelievable, which is great, which I am super happy for. I talked about it last episode that it was something that needed to be done way back when. Mm-hmm. And now that NCAA and college football are catching up with the times of just the times of how things have changed from the beginning of time, So I'm excited for that, and I'm extremely excited for the future of student athletes.
Oh yeah, it's about time that they, can get paid off of who they are and their hard work. Because you got to work hard in high school to be even considered 5-star recruiting. Your talent, you got to have talent and all that. So it's good to see that hard work could be paid off. And per se, now that they get to college and, when they get on the field to make plays and become great players and they get paid for that. So it's good. It's good. It's what's needed.
But it's not, they're not going to get, it's no guarantee you're going to get paid for your hard work and your dedication. It's just the opportunity to be able to capitalize on that.
Well, at least they had an opportunity. The
opportunity. For sure. The opportunity gets, open a lot of different doors for you. But with this whole bill, people look at it, and I posted, yesterday was a signing, and I had the opportunity to be there with, the governor and our state leaders as they signed this executive order. And so I posted pictures on social media and just, for the first time, I had an opportunity to really go through and dissect my comments, and I want to reply back to some things and stuff like that. And you'll be surprised on some of the mixed reactions you get from some of these people and the misconception, just the misconception of what it means for a player to be paid off their name, image, and likeness. You get so many comments and like, oh my God, it's going to change. There's no more underdog story. It's going to change the dynamics of college football.
I told you what they was going to say.
No, of course. But this is out of the 1,000+ comments, this is less than 1% of, I won't say negative comments, but not understanding how these athletes will be able to benefit from this. Not just a free education if you're on scholarship, but think about that walk-on student who's paying for school, who's able to go back to his local community where he's able to give golf lessons. He's able to put together a for-profit football camp, or that long snapper or something like that, or these other sports or these other student athletes where they have a huge following on their social media just because they have a YouTube channel or they TikTok famous or something like that. Mm-hmm. That is worth value.
Yeah.
And they're allowed to capitalize on that. So I'm happy for those guys as well, because I mean, it's so many TikTokers and YouTubers and gamers
it's
and
some creative
gamers.
people. It's a lot of people that's got creative personalities and creative minds that now they'll be able to capitalize off of. So that's what I'm talking about. It'll be
Yeah,
good to, like, if you got personality and you're a fun guy and like people like you, like you'll be able to like at least benefit a little bit. You have the opportunity. Let me because I don't want you to go
right.
crazy. You have the
No, yeah, you have the
opportunity to
opportunity.
benefit from these things.
Yeah,
And
nothing
I really
is.
don't see no negative. I mean, let you tell it from a coaching standpoint, but like for a player, I don't really see no negative in it at all. Like I don't see why a fan would be opposed to this. Like I
Yeah,
really don't.
it's because I mean, as fans, they want to keep the game as authentic as possible and pure as possible.
It's not
It's not
really
like that.
affecting the game at all.
Exactly.
Like
But won't.
at the end of the day, they still got to show up and still perform on the field to like that's not going to change at all.
Exactly. People make comments about, okay, well, you're putting all this money into young kid hands and blah, 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 this and that. And it's going to just, let them wait and to get that money until they get to the pros. I'm like, I don't know what world you live in, but going to the next level of any sport is not a
It's
guarantee,
yeah,
and
it's
it's not
slim.
easy.
It's
Yeah.
slim. And
Yeah.
even if you are good, it's when you get there, your shelf life is you not guaranteed to make the team. You got me on P squad. It's a lot of variables that go into
Yeah.
it that I
Right.
have personally lived through. So
Right, right. And it's not just, like I said, we clearly mean you're going to rate more to football, but it's not just easy to make it to any professional league. And it's ironic because the longer you do this sport, the longer you do sports, it's not like your everyday job, right? The longer you do your everyday job as a doctor, as a lawyer, as a plumber, as whatever it may be, you continue to get better in your eyes of being successful in this job. Continue to for your eyes to have an opportunity to move up in this company or at this job, that they get greater.
Yeah. Yeah.
You go through little league, then high school, then college, and have an opportunity to get to the pros or any other steps between that. Your chances of getting to the pros starts to decrease even more the higher levels you go in athletics, period.
Well, your body's starting to break down, so it's not going to be able to withstand certain things. Like certain things that you could do that I could do at college, I probably can't. I probably can't even do that no more. And it is funny because I'll be sitting there. I was talking to a former teammate, and he was just saying like he has no desire to even like play anymore because it took so much of a toll on his body, and he like still affected from it and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a lot going on. So they need to capitalize off their name while they can.
Right.
Why it's hot. Because it's not guaranteed that when they get to the pros, it's gonna be hot. So at least they get to experience something like some fame. I guess some fame while at some point in their life or in their career.
Yeah, why not? But I mean, I'm excited for that. That's officially, this is the first 24 hours. It's not been 24 hours yet. 2:30 it'd be 24 hours. But I'm excited for the future of college football, especially when it concerns to Ohio student athletes on a collegiate level, because it's going to be big, and we know Ohio is a sports state, in particular football. So
Hey,
not just Ohio State,
I'm
Miami,
interested to
Ohio,
see
Cincinnati.
what the deals that people get. Actually, I'm actually
I don't know if the dollar amount is going to be public as
I don't.
I
It's
can't
not even
remember.
about. I don't even
But
listen.
yeah, I
I can go
just
find that out. We can find that out. I don't. I don't care about that. I just want to see what sponsorships that they get. I
yeah,
really believe it'll be a lot of social media though, because that's the day and age that we live in, and that's where people communicate the most with athletes is on social media. So I
for
think
sure, for
it's
sure. But
a
now,
Twitter, Instagram thing.
yeah, for sure. But now when that kid pulls up in that Mercedes, you don't have to care. You can't question it. Ain't no
Oh yeah,
complaints.
no,
So
you know
it's
it. You know where it came. You know where I got it from.
yeah,
Look, throw some shoes on it. Ooh
yeah,
wee.
yeah. But no, like I said, I'm excited for the future student athletes on the collegiate level in Ohio, and kind of switching gears a little bit, man. Ohio State just came through, just finished up a huge recruiting month. They had over 120 recruits in the last 4 weeks. I think it was a little over 40 of those guys were on the officials and the rest were unofficial visits. But I mean, Ohio State, they roll out the red carpet for all these guys who come into the facility if you're committed or not, because, if they're recruiting you, they offer you a scholarship, they want you, and they see something in you, and they believe that you can benefit from the program as the program's going to benefit from you. So with that being said, man, I can remember going through the recruiting process when I was in high school and trying to cram in all those visits in a dead period. But I think we had a little more time to cram in those visits because, one of the biggest recruits the biggest recruit in next year class, JT Tuimoloau, I think is his last name, a kid out of Washington, number one player in the country, number one prospect in the country, defensive end. And his big thing right now, the biggest thing right now in recruiting, he just canceled his visit to Alabama.
Yeah,
he want to narrow it down to the four schools he took a visit to this past month, which was Ohio State, Oregon,
Washington,
USC, and Washington. Yeah. So, I mean, everything you hear about the kid, everything you read online about him, he's a homebody. He's a great kid, a great person, a great teammate, great dude to be around. And what do you think with him canceling Alabama means for these other four schools, in particular Ohio State?
It definitely gives.
If you're looking at it just for all standards and
I mean, it's
prestiges of the university and the track record, Ohio State got to be number one, right? At least four.
But see, that's the thing. Like, he's a West Coast kid, right?
Yeah.
See,
Washington.
that
20 minutes away from the University of Washington, 3-hour drive from Oregon.
Okay, see, and that's the thing that that those schools have going for him is the fact that he's from over here. He's a West Coast kid. They'll probably feed him like it'd be different going all the way to Ohio State. But I mean, just being in the top four, that's huge for the Buckeyes. I mean, it'll be a home run if we can land them because we definitely need that type of player in our program. But the thing about it that I think the reason why he canceled, like why Ohio State is still in it, because out of all the four schools, I mean, Ohio State is obviously the only Midwest school. I think the reason why is because Ohio State does a great job of making you feel like you're at home. Like I said, when you get there, like you don't feel like home for him. Like you wouldn't feel like home is for a 4 or 5 hour flight. Like you feel like, man, I'm whatever. You got to be technical. It's like, man, I feel good here. Like I'm comfortable here. I know these people got my back. It's just been a bunch of stories at Ohio State that's also have told that. I mean, obviously it's different for me because home was 2 hours drives for me and you, depending on who's driving. So it was just different. I know it's a lot of kids that's coming from Florida and from Texas, and how come we keep getting all these recruits from there? It's because when you get to Ohio State, it's like, I mean, of course, Ohio State is Ohio State. You're going to be in the running for the championship every year, but it's just an awesome program, man. Coach Mick and the strength staff do a great job of making us feel good during the holidays. They even got Santas and all kind of stuff. So it's just a fun experience, and the guys is awesome to be around.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing Coach Jay and the staff did that they greeted JTT at the airport. They all had Hawaiian shirts on, and I forgot the thing they wear around their neck. I totally forgot the name.
I forget the name of it too, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. So so they try to make him feel as warm as possible. I think this was his first time on the East Coast this far. So we try to stress the importance of home when it comes to recruiting and things like that. I mean, I don't consider home as Oregon for him because it's still a 3-hour drive. I figure home is like within 2 hours because who's making a 6-hour?
It'd be Washington.
Exactly. I mean,
he probably grew up watching Washington because it's right there.
Yeah, but if you want to do the things you say you want to do, why not be coached by the best guy in college football at his position, Larry Johnson? I mean, his track record speaks for itself. With guys like, I'm not even going to mention the Bosa's and Chase. I'm just going to talk about guys like Sam Hubbard, who's captain and very productive,
killing
defensive end of the Bengals, and you got Jalen Holmes, you got Taquan Lewis, you got in Denver. The last two, golly,
Draymond
Jones in Denver, and then
killing it. I was just with him 2 years ago, killing it.
Yeah, so his track record speaks for itself. And when it comes to these four schools, really compared to any other school, when it comes to getting defensive linemen drafted and being productive and being that guy in college, and he can be that guy here at Ohio State, being coached by the great Larry Johnson. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, which other selling point do you need as a recruit? You're going to be coached by the best position coach in the country at your position. On top of being part of one of the top programs in the country, you're going to have the opportunity to compete for championships in November, and that's the most important part. So, outside of, making a crap ton of money with name and likeness.
There we go. Now they can sell it, huh?
yeah, for sure. so that's great.
That's funny. You hilarious for that.
But looking at the trip to Oregon, I mean, yeah, you can drive 3 hours, but I consider home a place where you can drive there and back in a day. I mean, how many times
you can do that?
How many times we drove to Cleveland there? I mean, I don't know. 4 hours is cool there and back 2 and 2, but 6, you starting to push.
It depends on the weekend, and that's how that get. Like,
oh no, traffic on the West Coast.
Ooh,
that 3 hours is 3 hours. Yeah, that 3 hours. Or unless you're getting up super.
I mean, he might.
But think about like this. Oregon, they have those. I think they have like those freaking 9 o'clock games and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Your parents is getting up like at 4 o'clock trying to get to the stadium.
Well, they don't normally do though. They did that. I think they did that last year. Just that. I think that was the only time they actually like.
Well, still, you got those early games. Parents getting up. Your family is getting up pretty early to make that 3 hour drive. That's going to turn into 4.5 because of traffic. Because,
I mean, there's
a good group of people is going to go to the game.
Well, I mean, that's not a good selling point because they had to get on the plane to come.
3 hours.
They had to get on the plane.
3 hours.
That's not the point. That's
3 hours. 3 hours. Come enjoy your weekend. Columbus, come enjoy your weekend. But me personally, with the recruiting trips and going through recruiting, distance wasn't a thing for me. I mean, yeah, it'd have been great that your family and friends are able to come support you each and every week of home games and stuff like that. But I was more concerned, like what that university can do for me, what it had to offer me outside of athletics.
Side note, where did you take your visits to?
Ohio State, LSU, Miami University, and Oregon. I only took 4. So I was falling all over. I was all over the place.
Yeah, you was.
I took it unofficial to Penn State, I went up to junior day of Team Up North. I took it unofficial to Toledo.
You went up there? No, hold on. Stop. You're not going to speed past that like you did you went up there?
Well, I went up there for
I can't believe you.
My high school quarterback
you disgust me. No, you disgust me.
Quarterback coach at the time, son, was like the biggest Team Up North hockey fan, right? Oh, speaking of Team Up North, Tyvis Powell. I almost disclaimed my kid. And I'm sorry to get off topic. I almost disclaimed Owen.
Really?
His mom sent me a picture of him in his new glasses.
Oh, they made you some blue. Oh my God. Hey, no, we ain't doing that. We not doing that.
I didn't even look how great he looked in his glasses. I didn't look how cute he looked.
You can't. It's the yellow. It's that yellow, right?
I said, Morgan, what do he has on? What do he got on?
Wow.
What? She's like, what? His glasses. I'm like, I'm talking about the shirt.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't even notice the shirt. I'm like, what? So, well, my cousin's going to school up there for hockey. He loves hockey. He got him the shirt. I said, Morgan, you know where I went? Yeah. You know where you went? So, yeah. Take that shirt off of him. Get him a yellow shirt that just says hockey.
No, Bert, listen, man.
I'm a burn it. Don't worry.
I understand. Like, you got to support the fam. I do. I get that.
Listen.
But like, it's certain you can support them, but you ain't got. This reminds me of when we played Alabama and my family showed up in Alabama stuff. That was some disrespect right there. It was like a spit in the face.
Well, that was like when I was with the Chargers and we came to play the Browns. And we traveled that far from west to east. We stayed a few days, and we actually were staying in the town longer after the game as well because we was flying to London after the following week. And I couldn't wait. I go see the family. I'm thinking everything's great. Oh, he's back in town. They all barking at me. They got the brown stuff on. They like, screw you, F you, blah, blah, blah. Brown this, brown that, brown this.
Who won the game?
My boy Phil Rivers went out there and had a day.
You were sitting good.
I couldn't wait. I couldn't even wait to go home to where everyone else I knew was watching the game, to go decked out in Chargers head to toe. I never wore so much Chargers stuff. I had a hat, a shirt, a hoodie, the shoes, the pants.
Yes, this is it. That's how I felt. Listen, after I caught that pick after the Alabama game, went in. Hold on, let me talk to y'all for a second. Come on.
That's what y'all get.
Hey, talk about some. I ain't gonna lie. I was glad that you did it, but I was whatever. You weren't talking all that.
Save it. That's funny though. But needless to say, I'm gonna show him how much I'm showing him how much I like hockey too. Cause I like to fight. I'm gonna rip him out that shirt. I catch him in that thing. Like them hockey players, you fighting, pull their shirt back on their head. Come on, get your first fighting lesson right here.
Yeah, that's too far right there. Huh? Yeah, I don't know what I'd do. Lord, I ain't got word. Lord would never do that. She would never do that.
I couldn't believe it, Tyler. I was heartbroken, but it's cool, dog. One day I forgive him. One day. But no, man, back to getting to talk about recruiting and stuff like that. Like I said, this just wasn't the thing for me. I wanted to go to a university where I saw myself, and the university can help me set myself up for life after football. So clearly I made the right decision. Through Ohio State, would have definitely met you guys. Probably would have smashed you somewhere else if I was playing. I would have ran you right over.
Cardale.
So yeah, that's
really
that's always good.
Hold on, wait.
Love Buckeye Nation.
Hold on, for the fans that's watching this, I need y'all to know that me and Cardale went against each other in high school in a 7-on-7, and we went against each other the spring game, our last spring game. Cardale has gotten me one time. I've gotten Cardale twice. I'm up 2-1 on Cardale. I picked Cardale off twice. I don't know why he even thinks that he can mess with me. I really don't.
That wasn't you when we played y'all in the preseason with Niners. I jumped over y'all in the end zone. That wasn't you.
Excuse me? No, it was not. Don't even do that. I will say you scored and threw that ball out there at the stand. So I was like, oh, this dude, he acted up today, huh? No, that was not me. No,
I know it wasn't you. I listened to you. But man, no, that's cool though. I mean, like I said, Ohio State pretty much was the best decision that I personally made when it comes to my athletic career thus far. And wouldn't change it for the world. So me and JTT and all the future recruits out there, man, you guys watching this and listening, man, come make, a great decision and joining a great alumni base and
for sure that's
a brotherhood and a culture that will follow you for the rest of your life.
Yeah. It's got to be something good. It's got, because it's a bunch of recruits that's coming back. They like, I think the one quarterback
he came back last week with his buddy, his receiver, was on his official visit that he's hoping to get an offer from Ohio State.
So like he keeps coming back, and he was in Texas, right? He keeps flying back. It's just, like I said, it's just great. It's a great environment, a great atmosphere. You will definitely be taken care of from. You won't have to worry about, are you getting the right coaching? You won't have to worry about the physical. Like, it's all going to be there. Your education is great. It's just a great place to be, man. Just Columbus, Ohio really does a great job of preparing you for the real world, even outside of football, even after your football career is over. I mean, just being a Buckeye just will take you far in life. So, it's a great decision. Don't even fight it too hard. You gonna overthink this. Don't even do that. Just it's all right there. Like, come on, like you got the best coach. You got the best strength coach. You got great education. You go to the league. Like it's there. Just don't overthink it.
Yeah, you got it. But man, now wrapping up with recruiting. I know Ohio State's back into this dead period. Like I said, they had 4 straight weeks of recruiting and over 120 recruits and on visits and out the facility and all around the city. So I think, now that they are in this dead period, I know the coaches got to be like, okay, now we can focus on now. Now we can focus on the guys we have here now and getting ready for when the foot hits the ball, in the opening game. So I already know that was a unique time for us that did well. during recruiting that last week of that last month of June, and we get on our little summer break, and then as we finishing up, because you don't see the coaches for X amount of time because they go straight from off the roads to hosting visits, and they can't really be around the players. I think the rules are changing now since we were in school, but they can't do much around the players until a week or so before camp.
What's coming up though for the players, right?
Conditioning tests.
Ooh, those stadium.
Well, no, they don't even do that anymore.
When he told me that, I gotta go down there and talk to Coach Mick, man. You know what? It's one of those things that's really proven. The older you get, it's like you kind of ease up a little bit, and it's a shame for me I cannot believe that we had to do that stadium runs like that, especially remembering you.
This is not my friend. No.
Cardale, you was the funniest person to watch. You made me feel so good about because I used to be tired. I used to be really tired, but when I saw you, I said, "Oh man, I need that, man."
Couldn't breathe. Never couldn't breathe. It's tough.
Yeah.
Couldn't breathe. It's I'm hydrate all day.
Wait a minute. Hold on. What about the time we went out there? I forget what we had. We had 50s. We had like 50s, like 20 50s or something like that. And I had told y'all, Cardale, I didn't make it. I fell out.
Oh yeah.
Cardale,
I said, boy, you ain't make it. Oh, I know I ain't about to make it.
Cardale came in there holding his shoes.
I can breathe, boy. Hey, that last one. No, I made it to the very last one.
No, I fell out at like 18.
Yeah, it's my very last one. I remember like it was yesterday. My very last one, and because we went first because we didn't do offense and defense together. Y'all did like maybe defense, and then we did offense maybe or something.
I don't remember.
I know the whole team wasn't there.
No, yeah, the whole team wasn't there.
My group was first though. Whatever group we ran first, so we got finished first. So as the other two teams, as the other ones coming over and running, I put my hands on my knees.
He said they think I know I was looking up.
Oh my God.
Oh, looking up at the sky.
The way I failed like I put my hands on my knees. I feel myself going down. I tucked like under my legs, and I'm looking up. So I'm just like, where am I?
Bro, I know, man. And they looking at me like, what was you doing this weekend? Everybody like, no, he wasn't doing that this weekend. I know that for a fact.
That was tough, man. That was some of the toughest stuff ever. But man,
for sure.
Well, good luck to those Buckeyes as they're getting ready and start their summer program. I think July 6th. I want to say, or the 8th. I think so. I think they're
whatever it is, right around the corner.
Yeah, good luck to the Buckeyes as they start their summer program this within the next week or so, man. This is when you really see that team start to be built and molded and shaped and getting ready for the season. And, it's going to eliminate some guys and separate some guys because some guys are going to take some steps and some guys are going to stay the same. So good luck to that and go Bucks to that. And man, good luck to those guys as they get ready for this summer program. And I hear another week or so, going through conditioning and all that stuff. This part of the season, this part of the year, this is when they really mold that team because guys are starting to separate themselves when it comes to conditioning level and play and things like that. So good luck to those guys. But that is it for another episode of Roommates with myself, Cardale Jones and Tyvis Powell, brought to you by Lettermen Row. Follow those guys.
Bucks and 5.
Follow those guys over at Twitter for all your latest and greatest Ohio State updates and recruiting and all that great stuff. So go Bucks. Catch you guys later.